Hello, my friends and my students. Welcome to BANI NETSHALA. Today, I am going to talk about how we will start our upcoming, how we'll start to read, how we will start to take our preparation for our upcoming UGC NET December 2025 and WB set. That means West Bengal set 2025. You all know that West Bengal 2025, the exam will be conducted, you all know, December. Okay, this is very important time. December 2025, your exam can be conducted. Okay, so West Bengal 2025, the most important thing, the first question, the question actually comes in our mind that how we will start to take preparation for this exam. This is the main question. That question comes to our mind and we have no idea. Do not have any idea about how we will start, how we will think about it, how we will take the preparation for this or that. That's why I will provide you the most important thing, that how you will start. Okay, this is very important thing. So now the most important thing is that from where we will start and where we will stop. This is the very important thing, from where we will start and where we will end or stop. The important thing is you should keep in your mind that you have to read British literature. This is very important thing you should keep in your mind. British literature. That means you have to read play, or you can call it drama. Then you have poetry. Then you have fiction. And then you have non-fiction. Now you have to read world literature. World literature. Then Indian English literature. Indian English literature. Then literary criticism and literary theory. Okay, then we have to read Indian aesthetic. Apart from these or that, we have to read research methodology. Okay, so, and another thing, very important thing, cultural studies. You all know these or that. Now, how we will start British literature? Okay, we will start British literature. First, I am talking British literature. Okay, we have to think about the time period of British literature. First, we know that it is Old English literature. Okay, it is Old English literature. Then we have Middle English literature. Then we have, next I'll start Chaucerian period. Okay, I will talk just later it. First Old English literature and then Middle English literature. Okay. Chaucerian period. Next you have post-Chaucerian period. Okay. Then you have age of revival or darkness or barrenness. You can say this. Okay. Then you have Elizabethan period. Okay. Then you have Jacobean period. Now timeline is also very important. Just write down the timeline. 650, 750 or 850 to 1066. Very important. 1066 to 1340. Okay. 1340 to 1400. 1400 to 1450. 1450 to 1550. 1558 to 1603. 1603 to 1625. Okay. Next we have to know Caroline period. 25 to 1642. Okay. So this is very important. You should keep in your mind first these things. Okay. So we have to start from British literature. Then we have to memorize Old English literature, Middle English literature, Chaucerian period, post-Chaucerian period, Age of Darkness, Elizabethan period, Jacobean period and Caroline period. The important thing is why we have to memorize this, because chronological question will come from this portion. Okay, from this portion you can find out chronologically question. Like when I am talking about Old English literature, you should keep in your mind the time duration. Just time duration 1650 or 1750 or 850 to 1066. Okay. Next you have Middle English period 1066 to 1340. Then you have Chaucerian period 1340 to 1400. Very important thing. Then you have post-Chaucerian period 1400 to 1450. This period is also included in here. Age of Darkness or Barrenness or Age of Revival. 1450 to 1550. It is called, you can say, the total age. These two age is completed in included into 400 to 1550. Okay. So next you have Elizabethan period. This is 1550 to 1603. Next you have Jacobean period 1603 to 1625, and then you have Caroline period 1625 to 1642. Okay, these are very important things. Next we have to read another thing. Another time period is really very important. Okay, this is Civil War period. Very important. Civil War period 1642 to 1649. Okay, this is our live class. No break, no new kind of thing will be added in this video. No, this is our live class. We are discussing the live things which are really very important for your upcoming UGC NET December 2025 and your WB set. Okay, so I, Haridas Mondal, behalf of BANI NETSHALA, I am teaching this particular thing. From where we will start, how we will start, and where we will stop. Okay, these are really very important things. This is Civil War period. Next, we should keep in your mind a Restoration period. A Restoration period 1649 to 1660. Then you have Neoclassical period. Sorry, there is another period. This is called as Commonwealth period. Commonwealth period. This is 1649 to 1660. Okay, sorry, this timeline is wrong timeline. Just you note down it, 1660 to 1702. Okay. Next you have neoclassical period. This is also divided into two parts, but I am written in this way. I am writing in this way, 1702 to 1745. Okay, but it is divided into two parts. One is Augustan period, and another is, just you should keep in your mind, this is age of Johnson. Okay. Next you have pre-romantic period. Should keep in your mind, it is pre-romantic period. Okay. This is pre-romantic period. When I am talking about pre-romantic period, 1745 to 1770s or 65 you can say. Next we have romantic period, which is very important. Romantic period, you know, 1789 or 1792 to 1832. Okay. Then you have Victorian period, 1832 or 1837 to 1902 or 01 you can say, 1901, you write down this. Okay. Then you have modernism, then you have postmodernism. So you have modernism, which is 1901 to 1945, just end of the Second World War, and postmodernism, the result of modernism, which is 1945 to 1900 onwards you can say. Okay, onwards. And then now we are in actually ultra modernism. Okay, just forget this. So these are very important things you should keep in your mind. So from where we will start? We actually start with the time period, the time duration, the age duration of British English literature. So we should keep in your mind, first English literature. When I am talking about English literature, you should keep in your mind that we have Old English literature, Middle English literature, then we have Chaucerian period, then Age of Revival, which is also called darkness or barrenness, next Elizabethan period, then we have Jacobean period, then we have Caroline period, then Civil War period, then Commonwealth period, Restoration period, Romantic period, Victorian period, Modernism, finally Postmodernism. Okay. Apart from these or that, we should memorize it. We should keep in our mind the time duration or the timeline. So what timeline? Okay, the most important timeline is this. When I'm talking about the timeline, should keep in your mind 650 or 750 or 850 to 1066 is the time period or time duration of Old English period. Okay, so Old English period, you have 850, you have 750, you have 650. Many books recommend many years. Okay, that's why you should keep in your mind 650, 750 or 850. There are different incident happened in different age. Like 650 happened another thing, 750 another thing, 850 another thing. Okay, so then you should keep in your mind 650, 750 or 850 to 1066 is the duration of Old English period. Next you have the Middle English period, which begins with the Battle of Hastings. Okay, you should keep in your mind this. This is very important, which is again also called as Norman Conquest, 1066. So 1066 to 1340, which is called as Middle English period. Okay, so this is also the Norman period, you know that. And then you have 1340 to 1400, and this is the whole period is called Age of Chaucer. This is the Age of Chaucer. You have to read Canterbury Tales. Okay, very important thing, Canterbury Tales. Okay. On the other hand, then there is a Age of Darkness, Age of Barrenness or Age of Revival, which starts from 1300, and we know that 1340 to 1400 and Chaucerian period. So then next 1400 to 1550. Okay, or 50s you can say, because there is a Tudor dynasty, the rise of Henry VIII, After Henry VII, there is rise of Henry VIII, then Edward II, then there was a Bloody Mary, you all know that. And then there is Queen Elizabeth. So this is very important thing, Queen Elizabeth, and this period is called as, you all know that, this is Renaissance period. So when I am talking about Elizabethan period, this is Renaissance period actually. So the time duration is, you all know that, it is just 1558 to 1603. You know that this period, why we are talking about Elizabethan period, is called as Renaissance. This is very important thing, you should keep in your mind. You know that Renaissance. Okay, so Renaissance, that means you all know that a rebirth. Okay, so this is a period. Why it is called as rebirth? In that period, whose reign? Elizabeth I, Queen Elizabeth I. So this is very important thing. Before Renaissance period or before Elizabethan period, we know that age of darkness. Why? Because the time duration 1402 1550s. Okay, so in this time period many wars happened. You all know that the War of Roses, 100 years war. So each and everything happened. War of Roses, through which you know that Tudor dynasty emerged. Through which War of Roses, you know that House of Lancaster and House of York. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. House of York and House of Lancaster. And through these war, we know that Tudor dynasty come to reign. They start to rule the whole England. So this is very important, Tudor dynasty. Okay, so Henry VIII, you all know that Henry VIII, he actually broke down all Catholic churches. You all know this is his personal matter. Catholic churches, and established Anglican church. Very important thing. Established Anglican church. Okay, and you all know that there is a divorce. Okay, between Henry VIII and his wife. He actually gave them divorce, and that's why the Catholic Church called him, said that it is not very easy thing to divorce a woman, because our marriage system is totally controlled by God. God has decided to whom we will marry. So your marriage is also connected with or interlinked with the God. That's why you can't give them divorce. But he has given, and he ruined, he banished, he destroyed the whole Catholic churches and established Anglican church. Okay, this is Henry VIII, the Tudor dynasty. Then you know that Bloody Mary, very important thing. And then after Bloody Mary, there was Edward II, and then Bloody Mary, and finally it was Queen Elizabeth. It was Queen Elizabeth. You all know that, who take the ruling, the power, whole power, 1558 to 1603. It's very important thing you should keep in your mind. In this period, most of the important thing happened. Just think about, in age of darkness, in age of barrenness, you all know that this is the time period of war. Many wars happened. Wars of York, wars of Lancaster, civil war, these or that kind of war happened in this period. So just you think about, when the war was happening, the people's, the local man's, their mind is also got attracted by this kind of chaotic situation. They were living in chaos. So it was really very impossible for them to produce literature. Their mind is also bound. They are also bound. Okay, so it is really very impossible. When we actually write literature, when, suppose, just you think about the corona. When the corona or COVID-19, the pandemic, everywhere lockdown, we don't go outside. We can't go outside. We can talk our friends. We can spend our time with them, with activities. So we are in just our room. Okay, so just to think about. So that time nothing actually can be produced because we are in chaotic situations. We are not in good situations that provokes us. Like you all know that Kalhans Raj Tarangini, you know that Bharat Muni's Natya Shastro. One thing I am talking with you, Bharat Muni, you all know Bharat Muni, Natya Shastra. He talks about Vava Anubhava. That means Aramban and Uddipan. That is Bhava and Anubhava. So what is Bhava and what is Anubhava? So the chaotic situation, that is Alamban, that is Bhava. And what Anubhava? That is Uddipan. The situation provokes you to write. Okay? So this is Bhava. So just you think about. We came to Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. When I will discuss with you Indian aesthetics, I am talking with you, I will talk to you, Bharat Muni, Natya Shastra, Kalan, Rastarangini, those are very important things. Just you think about, as I am talking about Bhava and Anubhava, that means Alamban and Uddipan. Okay, so what is Bhava or what is Alamban? The situation, the current situation. Suppose now we are actually living amidst chaotic situations threatening by nuclear bomb. Just to think about everywhere, every country, they talk about nuclear bomb. Okay, so I don't want to go to any controversial thing, but I just make you understand that what I'm talking, what actually happens, where, situation where. So this situation does not provoke or cannot provoke anyone to write anything, cannot provoke to produce any kind of literature. It's very simple thing, just to think about. So that's why when we actually read Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra, you can find out the Bhava and Anubhava. Okay, in Bengali, একটা যুদ্ধের সময় আমাদের মাইন্ড বা আমাদের মস্তিষ্ক এতটা সুন্দর থাকে না যে কিছু লেখা, তখন কি ধরনের লেখা আসে? লাইক আমরা জানি যেমন ওয়ার পোয়েটস এর এসছে না, ওয়ার পোয়েটস কখন এসছে? ওয়ার্ল্ড ওয়ার সময় এসছে। You know that during the World War First we have wire poets. You know that Siegfried Sassoon, Wilfred Owen, W.B. Yeats, not wire poets. Rupert Brooke, those are wire poets. Rupert Brooke, Siegfried Sassoon, Wilfred Owen, So you have Rupert Brooke, you have Siegfried Sassoon, you have Wilfred Owen. So those are wire poets. Why? Because the wire situation, World War. Some writers glorify war, some writers wrote down against wire. They know the result of wire, and that's why they actual wrote against the wire, and some glorify, like Rupert Brooke. You know that W.B. Yeats says that during their own time, Rupert Brooke, most beautiful guy in England. Okay, and Rupert Brooke is just like our Kazi Nazrul Islam, Bidrohi Kavi, Sukanta Bhattacharya. Okay, so that kind of writers who provoked the young bloods to go to the airfield, to take weapons in their hand, go against the another country in airfield. Okay, this is Rupert Brooke. You have Wilfred Owen, you have Siegfried Sassoon. So now these are the main important things that I am talking. So যুদ্ধের সময় তাদের মস্তিষ্ক ততটা সুন্দর ছিল না প্রডিউস করার জন্য, লিটারেরি প্রডিউস করার জন্য, বাট যখন কুইন এলিজাবেথ আসলো পরিস্থিতি অনেকটা সুন্দর হলো। ওকে, এই পরিস্থিতিতে they started to produce something, they started to write something, they started to write. Okay, so that's why in this period this is called as Renaissance. Navigation and exploration, a very important thing in this time. Just you write down navigation and exploration. Very important thing. You know that navigation is very important in Elizabethan period. You all know that Elizabethans actually defeated Spanish Armada. You all know this. Spanish Armada is defeated by Elizabethans. There is a rumor, I don't know the authentic information, but some information says that there is a love relationship between Elizabeth and the Spanish king. But it is really a real fact that Elizabeth doesn't love. Okay, she doesn't love. But this is one hand love. Okay, so Spanish king কুইন এলিজাবেথকে ভালোবাসতেন, কিন্তু কুইন এলিজাবেথ স্প্যানিশ কিংকে ভালোবাসতেন না। ওকে, মন দিয়ে বোঝার চেষ্টা করুন। তাহলে যেহেতু ইনি বারবার প্রপোজ করেছেন এবং কুইন এলিজাবেথ বারবার এনাকে রিজেক্ট করেছেন, সেই ক্ষেত্রে স্প্যানিশ কিং তিনি কিন্তু বিষয়টাকে বেশ গুরুতরভাবে নিলেন এবং তিনি তার স্প্যানিশ আর্মাডা যেটা রয়েছে, যেটাকে কখনো হারানো সম্ভব না এরকম ভাবা হতো, স্পেনের নৌ বহর, ওকে, যাকে কখনো হারানো সম্ভব নয়। Just like you know that Titanic, okay, what is the main promotion of Titanic? Titanic কে প্রমোশন করা হয়েছিল কিভাবে? যে it is unsinkable, it is unsinkable, ঠিক, it is undefeated, okay, it is undefeated, but somehow Queen Elizabeth in Elizabethan period, Elizabethans actual destroyed Spanish Armada. Okay, Spanish Armada কে পুরোপুরি ভাবে তারা শেষ করে ফেলল। তো নেভিগেশন, এই জন্য এইখানে কিন্তু নেভিগেশনের একটা বিশাল এক্সিকিউশন হয়েছিল, এক্সপ্লোরেশন হয়েছিল, এক্সপ্লোর করেছিল। ইউ অল নো দ্যাট ইন 1498 and 1492, the two important years, you all know that. You all know 1492 and 1498. What happens in this age? You all know that America is discovered 1492, America, and 1498 India. Okay? Vasco da Gama. These are very important things. Next, we have to know that as this period is very calm, very peace, কুইন এলিজাবেথ এই সময়কালটাকে যেহেতু খুব সুন্দরভাবে সাজিয়ে নিয়েছিলেন, এই পিরিয়ডেই যেহেতু আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে বিভিন্ন রকমের ঘটনা ঘটছে, যে ক্ষেত্রে কুইন এলিজাবেথের প্রতি মানুষের একটা আস্থা এসে গেছিল এবং এই সময় এক্সপ্লোরেশন এন্ড নেভিগেশনের একটা ব্যাপক একটা চাহিদা হয়েছিল। পাশাপাশি সাইমালটেনিয়াসলি যদি আমরা একটু ভাবতে থাকি তাহলে আমরা দেখব কিন্তু যে এই সময়টাতে একটা স্থিতি লাভ করেছিল। ওকে, ইন দিস পিরিয়ড the writers, like আমি যদি সনেট রাইটারদের কথা বলি, so today I'm going to talk about like sonnet. Okay, so sonnet writer, play or you can say drama has been produced in these age. Basically play or drama is very important actually aspects in literary field. Okay, so sonnet, what is sonnet? Nothing. Sonnet actually come from Italian word sonetto. Italian word sonetto. Now my question, this is English form sonnet. Why it come from? It has been come from Italian word. এটা কেন ইটালিয়ান শব্দ থেকে এসেছে? তাহলে নিশ্চিত করে বলতে পারি ইতালিতে এর কোনো একটা প্রভাব রয়েছে। Yes, this form is first invented by Gaetano Latini. Latinin. So this person actually introduced, you can say invented sonetto, okay, in the reign of pious king Frederick II. So in the King Frederick's reign, Gaetano the Latinin first invented or introduced sonnet form. sonetto. Okay, and it is popularized by, again just write down it. It is popularized by whom? It is popularized by Francisco Petrarch, and that's why this is called as Petrarchan sonnet. Petrarchan sonnet, or you can say traditional sonnet, traditional, or you can say it is conventional or old or Italian. Okay, so this is called as Petrarchan sonnet, Italian sonnet, traditional sonnet, old sonnet, conventional sonnet. ডিটেইলসে বানি নেটশালা তোমাদের জন্য ডিটেইলসে আলোচনা করবে যাতে করে একটাও প্রশ্ন না ছুটে যায়। ওকে, I actually will discuss with you each and everything which is really very important for your exam. Okay, একটা বিষয় যাতে না ছুটে যায় আমি সেই দিকে খেয়াল রাখবো এবং তোমরা আমার সাথে প্র্যাকটিস করবে। Then I give you assurance that you will definitely crack UGC NET December 2025 and WBC. Okay, just follow me and subscribe the channel. Please share this channel and subscribe it and hit the bell icon যাতে করে সবার আগে তোমার কাছে আমাদের নোটিফিকেশন পৌঁছে যায়। ওকে, চলো তো নেক্সট যেটা আমরা আলোচনা করছিলাম, সো হোয়াট ইজ সনেট? The sonnet actually has been this is English form, and that English form has been derived from the Italian form sonetto. Okay, so sonetto, why এটা আমরা কেন ইতালি থেকে এসেছে? ভেরি সিম্পল, ইতালি থেকে এসেছে মানে ইতালি থেকে একজন এটাকে প্রথম ইনভেন্ট করেছে। কে ইনভেন্ট করেছে? গাইকামাদো লেতিনি কখন ইনভেন্ট করেছেন? যখন তিনি পায়াস কিং ফ্রেডরিক সেকেন্ডের আমলে ছিলেন সেই সময়। So it is really very important that English form sonnet comes from the Italian word sonetto, and it is being invented by the grandmother Lithuanian in the reign of Pius King Frederick II, and it is popularized by Francesco Petrarch, and that's why it is called as Petrarchan sonnet or Italian sonnet or traditional sonnet or old sonnet or conventional sonnet. Okay, do you understand? I think there is no problem. If you problem, so just comments and I will read your comments and I will give you the most important answer and the appropriate answer. Okay, next we have to know what is the actual meaning of sonnet. In your interview or in your assessment and reasoning type of question, if the question will come in this way, that what actually sonnet? As you see, sonnet means a little song or small poet. Okay, I will discuss with you sonnet next time details. In detail I will discuss with you. Okay, just you see this, a little song or sonnet poet. Now my question is, sorry, small poet. A little song or a small poet. It is written in 14 lines, iambic pentameter. Okay, iambic pentameter. Just you should keep in your mind. Written in 14 lines, iambic pentameter. What is iambic? Just you have to read in this way. যেখানে যে প্রশ্নটা যাচ্ছে সঙ্গে সঙ্গে you have to ask. Okay, you have to ask, you have to create question, then you have to find out question, the answer of that question, then you will crack. Otherwise you can't crack. You crack when you can create question. Okay, so this is 14 lines iambic pentameter. Now question, what is iambic? Nothing. One unstressed syllable is followed by stressed syllable. Okay, so just you write down this very important thing. What is iambic pentameter? One unstressed syllable is followed by stressed syllable. This is your repeated previous year question. Okay, next in England there is two writer, very important writer. Who are they? They are Thomas Watt and Earl of Surrey. Thomas Watt and Earl of Surrey. So they both traveled in Italy. Okay, and they traveled in Italy and got attracted by the sonnet form. attracted by the sonnet form? It is Sir Thomas what? Earl of Surrey. Another name of Earl of Surrey, Henry Howard. Just write down the name. Henry Howard. In YouTube, for the first time, we are, on the behalf of BANI NETSHALA, we are teaching in this way. Completely. There is no gap. Okay? So, in each and every thing we are going to discuss. Just write down. So they traveled. Where they traveled? They traveled Italy, and they got attracted by the sonnet form. And they, returning in England, they introduced the sonnet form in the ground of England. Okay. So now there is a question. It is Sir Thomas Watt who introduced the sonnet form in England for the first time, with Earl of Surrey or Henry Howard. Okay? Now question is very simple. Sir Thomas Watt directly got attracted by Petrarch. Okay? Very important thing. Directly got attracted by Petrarch. Okay? So Petrarch is attracted by Thomas Watt. So Thomas Watt translated. Just you write down. Translated whom? Translated Petrarch. Okay? Directly followed Petrarch. Okay? So directly followed Petrarch. Petrarch কে directly followed করছে। তাহলে কি followed করছে? তাহলে একটা জিনিস followed করছে। তাহলে সেটা কি? সেটা হচ্ছে পেট্রার্কান সনেটের ফর্মটা কি? পেট্রার্কান সনেটের ফর্মটা কি? এই সনেটের কি ফর্ম রয়েছে? এই সনেটটাকে দুটো ভাগে ভাগ করা হয়েছে। One is called octave and another is called sestet. Okay, so octave 8 lines, and then you have sestet, you have 6 lines. Now the interesting thing is that between octave and sestet there is a volta. Okay, I know that some students are actually aware of volta. Most of the students are not aware of the volta. Okay, that's why I am actually writing volta. I am talking about volta. Okay, so now the ink, I have to just put down the ink in the pen, because just wait. So try to understand that this is octave and sestets. So octave 8 lines, and you have sestet 6 lines, and there is a volta. Now my question is, what is volta? Write in comment section, what is volta? My friends and my students, just write in comment section what is volta. Volta actually is nothing. It is sudden change. Volta means sudden change. Volta means sudden change. In your interview, this is a very important question about volta. So what is volta? Volta is sudden change. Now the important thing is where we can find out volta. Where actually the volta exists. Where? We know that octave 8 lines, and then sestet 6 lines. So where volta? Volta is in ending of number 8 lines or beginning of 6 lines. 6 নম্বর। ওকে, সো 6 নম্বর লাইনের শুরুতে কিংবা 8 নম্বর লাইনের শেষে আমরা কাকে পাচ্ছি? আমরা ভোল্টাকে পাচ্ছি। দেখো মজার বিষয়, ভোল্টা means sudden change. Okay, so what is octave? Octave means 8 lines and sestet 6 lines. The most important thing is there is a certain rhyme scheme. Okay, certain rhyme scheme. So volta rhyme scheme A B B A A B B A C D C C D C. Okay, just some times ago I have told you that Thomas Watt directly got attracted by Francisco Petrarch, and that's why I've told you that he translated. So he used the form, this form, like 8 lines and then 6 lines, rhyme scheme A B B B A B B A, next C D C C D C. Now one thing you should keep in your mind, when Thomas Ward introduced the sonnet form in the ground England, the English writers started to experiment with the sestet part of the sonnet, and they create new kind of rhyming scheme like CD, 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 or you can say CDE, CDE. It is found in Milton. Okay, this is called as Miltonic sonnet, and as it is used by Milton, that's why it is called as Miltonic sonnet. Just try to understand what I am talking. Just try to understand. এই ডেপথে ইউটিউবে কখনো in this way, nobody in this way, I can tell you that এইভাবে পড়ানো হয়নি in depthly. We are discussing in deeply, thoroughly, okay, line by line, you can say line by line. আমরা একটাও জায়গাকে ছেড়ে দেব না যে জায়গা থেকে প্রশ্ন আসতে পারে। ওকে, প্রত্যেকটা ছোট্ট ছোট্ট জায়গাতে উইল গো ফর, উইল ট্রাই টু, উই দেন টার্গেট, we will be such a type of student who knows each and everything, who can radiate knowledge as well as radiate purity of life. Okay, you should keep in your mind, purity of life is really very important in this age. We know that. তোমরা সবাই জানো, যখন আমি মডার্নিজমের লেকচার দিয়েছিলাম প্রিভিয়াস ইয়ারে, you all know that মাঝখানে 2 মাস I don't take any class, I don't actually create or make a video for YouTube lecture, but this is after 2 months, after a big gap, I actually am starting to commencing video for you, because you, some students of me, who actually have write down the message, and I have received those message that your video actually helped us to crack NET, to crack any kind of state eligibility test or state exam. That's why I am making the video only for you. Those actually, this NET and SET is very important, because you know that শুধু তোমার স্বপ্নটা তোমার স্বপ্ন নয়, your dream is not your dream. Behind your dream a lot of people are waiting for your success. So success is very important, and within this success, you know that I actually remember I have watched a video, because it's a monk. Actually a monk is discussing about success and progress. What is success and what is progress? I know that. So what is success? He has told that success is nothing. You have now 2 cars. After some years, some days, you have 5 cars. After now you have 1 home. After some days you have 3 or 4 apartment or flat. That is not your success. The success, this is success. No, this is your progress. He said this is your progress, but your success is where? Your success is closely associated with your spirituality. This is very important, with your roots. So don't forget your roots. That's why it is APJ Abdul Kalam. You all know that APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam, the president of India, the missile man of India. APJ Abdul Kalam wrote Strong Roots. Very important. Just read this book, Strong Roots. Okay, so গোড়াটাকে শক্ত করতে হবে, আমাদের রুটটাকে শক্ত করতে হবে, বেসকে শক্ত করতে হবে। That base, on that base, the capitalism, the capital society is growing up. You all know that Marxist theory, and I will also discuss with you Marxism. When I will talk to you literary criticism or literary theory, this is Marxism, and you all know that the base, and then the superstructure, the Marxist theory. Okay, so now the most important thing is we have to keep our mind, our root. We have to think about our roots. Okay, so now it's really very important. So it is Milton who wrote this kind of sonnet, experimented with the last 3 lines of the sonnet, CDE, CDE. You can find out that. You can find out Milton sonnet, this kind of thing. Okay, Milton. When I am talking about Milton, You already thinking about, you are starting to think about Paradise Lost. I also talk about this Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained, each and everything. Lycidas. Okay, if you should I will discuss with you. You know that Paradise Lost, when I am talking about Paradise Lost, I will talk about pre-lapsarian, post-lapsarian, innocent experience. Okay, and I also actually will take some references from William Blake, Songs of Innocence, Songs of Experience. Okay, এই বিষয়গুলো আমি তোমাদের সঙ্গে আলোচনা করব. So let's come and see that it is Miltonic sonnet. Okay, so now the most important thing is, on the other hand, কারা কারা গিয়েছিল? So Thomas Watt and Earl of Surrey. Thomas Watt directly started to follow whom? Directly started to follow Petrarch. But it is Sir Thomas Watt who invented what? Who invented blank verse. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. Blank verse. Just you should keep in your mind blank verse. Okay. So blank verse. What is blank verse? I will discuss with you just later. So Thomas Watt invented a new kind of form. He actually experimented with the sonnet form, divided the sonnet form into 3 different parts. Okay, with the rhyming concluding couplet. So you have quatrains, you have 3 quatrains and 1 concluding couplet. One concluding couplet. So what is couplet? There is 2 lines. This is couplet. Very important thing. Just go Abraham, M.H. Abraham, literary glossary of literary terms, and see this. What is couplet? And write in the comment section what is couplet. Okay. So 3 quatrains. Each quatrains follow 4 lines. This is very important thing. And rhyming concluding couplet 2 lines. Is there Volta? Yes. This is a very important question in your UGC NET previous year question. Just you follow the previous year question. You see that where actually Volta in sonnet, in English sonnet. Petrarch, sorry, it is not Thomas Watt. It is Earl of Surrey. So Earl of Surrey introduced or invented this form, and this is popularized by William Shakespeare. And that's why it is called as Shakespearean sonnet. And you all know that sonnet number 18, written by William Shakespeare. Shall I compare the two a summer's day? The word more lovely and more temperate do shake the darling birds of May. Rabbits do shake the darling birds of May. Thou art sometimes to her life of even signs, and often is his gold complexion dim, and every pair for pair sometimes decline, by chance of nature's changing course untrimmed. By thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lost visions of thou wondrous, nor death can break the wondrous growth. So long as man can breathe, or man can eyes, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So this is sonnet number 18. Just read it, start to memorize it. Okay, like me. Okay, chalo. This is William Shakespeare. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. So William Shakespeare, this is popularized by William Shakespeare, that it is called a Shakespearean sonnet. And as I am just reciting the sonnet number 18, and you follow that, there is a question. This each and every sonnet, like you have Italian sonnet, just you see the difference. Italian sonnet, then you have English sonnet, which is again called as Shakespearean sonnet. Okay, so I have written down English sonnet. Okay, so Italian sonnet, English sonnet, it is also called Petrarchan sonnet. So there is octave and sestet, 8 lines and 6 lines. There is quatrains and concluding couplet. Okay, concluding couplet. This is Petrarchan sonnet, 8 octave and sestet. Both have a rhyme scheme. Okay, so what is rhyme scheme? You know that octave A B B A B A C D C D C D, or C D C C D C, or C D E C D E. You should keep in your mind this is Milton, used by Milton, and it is called as Miltonic sonnet. On the other hand, you have the quatrain and concluding couplet. So then you can find out the another most important thing. This is which is A B AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, and finally you have GG. There is volta, there is also volta. Okay? So volta means sudden change, end of the octave, beginning of the sestet, you can find volta. There is starting third quadrants, starting or beginning with third quadrants, you can find out the volta. So this is volta, this is sonnet. And the most important thing, which sonneteer are actually belonging in this particular age. You all know that this is Edmund Spenser. Okay, you have William Shakespeare. Okay, you have Sir Philip Sidney, Thomas Watt, Earl of Surrey. Okay, these are very important. Edmund Spenser, William Shakespeare, Sir Philip Sidney, Thomas Watt, Earl of Surrey. The most famous female sonneteers. This is your home assignment. Just write in the comment section. Most name of the female Elizabethan sonnet writer. Okay, just write down this in your comment section. Okay, so Edmund Spenser, you should keep in your mind. Amorete, very important thing. William Shakespeare, you know that 152 sonnet collections. And Sir Philip Sidney is very important. Astrophile and Stella, you all know that. And Sir Thomas Watt, I'm just talking about Thomas Watt invented blank verse. Now question, what is blank verse? Just to think about blank verse. If there is blank verse, so there is free verse also. We also know that. So what is free verse and what is blank verse? Where is exactly difference between free verse and blank verse? Like, you should keep in your mind that in my class, my mom has told me that one single point, তোমার মনের সসপেনে ডিম ভেজে খায় আনমনে. Again I say, তোমার মনের সসপেনে ডিম ভেজে খায় আনমনে. So this is a poem. This is called as free verse. There is no, just to think about whatever I am thinking, I am starting to write down this. Just like William Wordsworth, you all know that. William Wordsworth in his lyrical ballad says that what? That poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful emotion. Okay, so powerful emotion. What kind of emotion we have? আমরা কেঁদে ফেলি, আমরা হাসতে শুরু করি, আমরা ভালোবাসতে শুরু করি, আমরা ঘৃণা করতে শুরু করি. So each and everything is related to point. যখন যেমন অবস্থাতে রয়েছে সেই সুযোগটা, সেই অবস্থাটা, সেই সার্কামস্টেন্সেসটা, you can on the other hand you can আলম্বন আর উদ্দীপন থেকে বলতে পারো যে এই আলম্বনটা আমাকে উদ্দীপনায় সাড়া করছে, আমাকে লিখতে বাধ্য করছে, হতেই পারে. But it is T.S. Eliot who actually discuss একটু অন্যভাবে ডিসকাস করেছে. আমি এগুলো তোমাদের সঙ্গে যখন মডার্নিজম নিয়ে আলোচনা করব, when I will start with you modernism, I will discuss with you this or that. Okay, just you should keep in your mind. Now this is blank verse and free verse. So what is blank verse, what is free verse? Blank verse, the simple thing, emotion, powerful emotion. Poetry is the, just write down this, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of the powerful emotion. So just to think about, it is poetry which is the spontaneous overflow of powerful emotion. So this is called as blank verse. Whatever I am thinking, just write down. There is no rhyme scheme. But one thing you should keep in your, it is free verse. We don't think about any kind of verse, any kind of rhyme scheme, any kind of traditional thought. Okay, just like metaphysical poetry. Whatever they think, they just write down. But their way of expression is completely different from the Elizabethan writers. You all know that. But the important thing is poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful emotion. William Wordsworth. So this is completely connected with free verse. No rhyming scheme. যা মনে আসছে সেটাই লিখছি, সেটাই কবিতা। This is free verse. যেটা modern writers যেটা follow করছে, this is free verse. And blank verse কি? What is blank verse? You know that there is one condition, that there is no rhyme scheme, but there is a condition. It is written in iambic pentameter. It is written in iambic pentameter. Okay? When I am talking about T.S. Eliot tradition and individual talent, again you should keep in your mind T.S. Eliot tradition and individual talent. In this essay, he is talking about the same things. That poetry is spontaneous overflow of the emotion. This is taught by William Wordsworth and it is closely associated with free verse. যা ভাবছি সেটাই কবিতা। চলো যাই, খেলা করি, বন্ধু আসলো, বাড়ি এলাম, খেলাম, তারপর ঘুমিয়ে গেলাম। So this is one kind of poetry. Okay, this is free verse. Just like this or that. The modern writers started to write in this way. Okay, but blank verse, iambic pentameter. Blank verse, no rhyme scheme, but iambic pentameter. Okay, do you understand? So poetry is a spontaneous overflow of the powerful emotion, and T.S. Eliot tradition and individual talent কিন্তু অন্য কথা বলেছে। That is impossible. যেটা ইমোশন, যে ইমোশন আসুক না কেন সেই ইমোশনকেই আমরা কিন্তু কবিতার রূপে রূপান্তরিত করতে পারি না। একটা ইমোশনকে, সাপোজ একটা জিনিস একটু বোঝানোর চেষ্টা করছি, জাস্ট ট্রাই টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড দিস। Have you watched the film Shah Rukh Khan's Devdas in 1917? Okay, Devdas was published by Sharat Chandra Chatterjee. Sharat Chandra Chatterjee. Just try to understand what I am speaking. So Devdas, it is made by whom? Shah Rukh Khan. Shah Rukh Khan is the hero. Yeah, Shah Rukh Khan is the hero. Okay, Devdas. So 30-second he was crying only for 30 seconds, since 30 seconds. Okay, 30 সেকেন্ডের কান্নার জন্য 10 টাইমস রিটেক নিয়েছিল, 10 টাইমস। Can you imagine 30 সেকেন্ডের কান্নাটাকে যদি 10 বার ধরে রিটেক নেওয়া হয়, যদি সেটা 10 বার ধরে বানানো হয়, it's possible to actually tightly keep the emotion? No, it is impossible. একটা 30 সেকেন্ডের কান্নার জন্য সেই অভিনয়টা করার জন্য আমাকে যদি 10 বার কাঁদতে হয়, 10 বার সেই অভিনয়টা করতে হয়, বারবার রিটেক। ওকে, কাট, আমি সেটাকে 10 বার ধরে করলাম, there is no emotion. But the audience, when they watch the film and they see that Shah Rukh Khan cries, they also start to cry. Why? Because it is brittle budget. That's why created new kind of thought. This is theater of alienation. Or it is called as epic theater. So you all know that. তোমরা যদি বাড়িতে একটু লক্ষ্য করো, দেখবে কোন একটা সিনেমা দেখতে গিয়ে, লাইক সাইয়ারা, most of the I do not actually use Facebook or YouTube, এতটা বেশি আমি লক্ষ্য করি না, বাট আমি যেটুকুতে একটু দেখছিলাম বা আমি এটা শুনেছি, সাইয়ারা মুভি দেখার পরে বহু ছেলেপেলে রয়েছে যারা কেঁদে ফেলেছে। ইভেন তোমরা নিশ্চয়ই জানো আমি যে বিষয়টা বলতে চাইছি। আই ডোন্ট ওয়ান্ট টু গো ফর এনি কন্ট্রোভার্সিয়াল থিং। সো যাই হোক, সো সাইয়ারা মুভি দেখে তারা নিজেদেরকে হয়তো রিলেট করতে পেরেছে, সেই জায়গাটা নিজেদের ইমোশনটাকে তাদের ইমোশনের সাথে যুক্ত করতে পেরেছে। আই ডোন্ট নো what happens, but ইমোশনটা যে কানেক্ট করছে, তাহলে তাকে যদি একটা লিটারেরি রিভিউ লিখতে বলা হয় ওই মুভিটার উপরে, বা সাপোজ আমাকে যদি একটা লিটারেরি রিভিউ লিখতে বলা হয় যে প্লিজ ইউ রাইট ডাউন আ লিটারেরি রিভিউ অন দিস মুভি সাইয়ারা, and after watching this movie Sayara I am totally impressed and I am totally got attracted by this Sayara, my emotion will be attracted or detached, will be connected with his or her emotion. They just made the film. Okay, we don't think about this. That's why আমরা এটা গুলিয়ে ফেলি যে তারা একটা সিনেমা বানানোর জন্য একটা জাস্ট একটা 10 সেকেন্ডস অর 30 সেকেন্ডস একটা সিনকে বানানোর জন্য 10 থেকে 20 বার রিটেক নিচ্ছে, সেখানে কাট হচ্ছে, তাহলে সেই জায়গায় তার ইমোশন থাকছে না, অথচ অডিয়েন্স তাকে সেই জায়গাটাকে মিশিয়ে ফেলে সেটাকে ইমোশনালি অ্যাট্রাক্টেড হয়ে যাচ্ছে, তাই না? তো যাই হোক, বিষয়টা না, সেটা হলো জাস্ট আমি তোমাদের বোঝানোর জন্য I am actually taking this or that kind of information or references, just like this or that. So theater of alienation or epic theater, when I am talking about epic theater or theater of alienation, what is this? What he said, actually the main thing is that when you go for analyze or you go for অ্যাকচুয়ালি একটা সিরিয়াসলি ভাবে তুমি যখন একটা জিনিসকে তুমি অ্যানালাইজ করতে চাইছো, তখন কিন্তু তোমার ইমোশনটাকে ধরে রাখতে হবে। The same thing is repeated in the traditional and individual talent by T.S. Eliot, that poetry is nothing, it is nothing about it is emotion, rather it is escape from emotion. Okay, just you should keep in your mind this. Next, we should keep in your mind playwright, dramatist. When I am talking about dramatist, you should keep in your mind university wits. So wits, it comes from intelligent, brilliant, and you know that university wits, who are university wits? You have John Lilly, Brown, Green, Thomas Keat, Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Nash, those are very important writers, university wits. There is also, you can find out just next time, you can find out city comedy, there is William Shakespeare, there is Christopher Marlowe. Okay, so I actually, আমি জানি ভিডিও অনেকটা লেন্দি হয়ে যাচ্ছে, সেই জন্য আমি এইখানে শেষ করছি। ঠিক এর পর থেকে আমরা নেক্সটে আলোচনা করব, উইল স্টার্ট ইচ অ্যান্ড এভরিথিং ইন ডিটেল ওয়ে। ওকে, আমি জাস্ট তোমাদের কমেন্টগুলোকে একটু দেখবো, ট্রাই টু give the answer of that comments. Okay.